Your life.
You are listening to Jock Journal Radio. News, opinion, and discussion for all you Jock stars.
Support for this show comes from Material. Material is a simple and intuitive e-commerce platform that lets you get your online store started without paying a dime. That's right. No ads, no setup costs, no transaction fees. Experience a fresh and easy new way to sell online by signing up at Material.com today.
Okay, we're back. I had to surf porn and post my pics on an adult website.
Welcome back, Jock Stars. I hope you all had an opportunity to enjoy that interview. It's not often that we get somebody who is a huge piece of NFL history on Jock Journal Radio, so we felt completely honored and privileged with this opportunity. Matt, what did you think?
I thought that was great, just to have how gracious were they to come on the show and to really give us, it didn't sound like she was trying to hold anything back and being very honest with us. I mean, just giving us an inside scoop. It makes so much sense now that you see, when these guys, Shady McCoy's coming back and they don't even want to shake Chip Kelly's hand or have anything to do with him. Now you know why. She's giving us really an insight into what that locker room's like that no one apparently seems to want to talk about, and that's genius. That was great, and they were so nice and gracious to be on the show. Just what a blessing, and what great guests they were. So I'm really glad that they were on the show.
Yes, absolutely, and it's kind of interesting because, I can understand now a little bit of where that racism sort of thing might have been coming from, because Chip Kelly didn't see these guys as human beings. He saw them as commodities that he was putting out there on the field. And the last thing a black man wants to be thought of is a freaking commodity. It's that cold, stoic, don't talk to me, I'm not going to build a relationship with you type of nature is not what is needed in an NFL locker room. You're not going to have these kids for a year or two where they're actually playing out in the field like you are in the college game. You're going to need to build a relationship with these people for a long period of time, sometimes as much as 10 years, where you're going to be connected with one player who's going to help, you're going to be building your team around. You can't do that in that NFL environment and not have that kind of rapport.
Yeah, definitely. The other thing I thought was awesome about this was just her perspective of being a woman involved in that sport. Not even now, and we're still fighting for women to be involved in this sport. But now, we're talking 10, 20 years ago when she was involved in it at a much higher level. What an amazing story, and how much insight she has just being a woman involved in, immersed in that type of an environment.
Yeah, I'm sure these Jock Journal writers are literally sitting there taking notes saying, oh my God, former GM of Eagles states Kip Kelly was...
Kip Kelly.
Yeah, whatever. At this point, I don't even care. I'm just giddy. I'm flying at the top of my, at the top of the roof. You could.
Some of the way she talked about Jeff Lurie too. Those things are genius.
Yes, the candor.
You can see why she would be. God, dude, if she let off on people like that, I would have been nervous in a room with her too. If you're a player, and not a player, she sounded like she was great with the players, but she obviously can hold her own in any boardroom when she was dealing with them, and that's why she was so successful. My hat's off to her.
Yeah, completely. We were going to be talking about Doug Baldwin as to whether or not he was elite or not, but we just really don't have the time to be able to dissect that argument. And it's
a quick one, so we don't need...
Oh, it's not going to be quick because I have actually planned it. I even pulled up a neat little statistic that I'll share with you so that way you can do some of your own research.
Already done it. We can go into it tomorrow. He's had here's what you need to know. He's had 3 100-yard games this year. That's not elite by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, and see, that's the statistic you're missing, is that when he's thrown to, he has the highest quarterback rating efficiency in the NFL, meaning that he's the most dependable target in the NFL for quarterbacks.
This year.
Well, he was fourth highest. He was fourth highest last year.
Over the past 5 or 6 games, not the beginning of the year either. So here's all I'm saying.
For the whole season.
Let him put together a couple years of doing that, and I'll get with you. Let him put together a couple years, and that's fine.
Let's save it because we got to talk about the New England Patriots, and we got to talk about the Jets game. The whole overtime debacle that is Belichick. Sometimes I think this guy's trying to be too smart for his own good. Who gets an overtime call and wins the toss? We've already talked about his uncanny ability to win tosses and how that might be, a level of cheating. But not only did he win that toss, but he decided to receive. Okay. Who does that in overtime? Who? It
was a mistake. They obviously came out and said that guy didn't understand the protocols.
No, they basically, from what I understand, the explanation was that they wanted to receive or elect to, they deferred so that way they could choose which side they would defend. However, in overtime, you don't get that choice. So it was just basically elected as they'll receive, and they got the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm sorry, not the Jets got a chance to receive and decide which way they were going to go. It's a crazy situation that Belichick. I can't imagine this super genius of a coach making such a grievous error that ended up costing them the game against the I keep saying the Philadelphia Eagles, both wear green. The New York Jets, who were fighting for their playoff lives. Now, my thoughts is that it actually works better for them because I'd rather face the Jets in the playoffs if I were the New England Patriots than I would the Pittsburgh Steelers. But I don't think that that's what they were intending to do. I don't think they were trying to lose that game.
No, of course they weren't trying to lose that game.
So is this go under a bigger blunder than, say, I don't know, that weird Pagano fake punt where everybody...
No,
it's pretty
terrible.
A big blunder.
It's a blunder. Look, no one would be saying that if the defense held and they went down the field and kicked a field goal. No one would be saying anything about it. The only reason they're saying it's a blunder is because the Jets went down the field and scored a touchdown. That's it. That could have gone 100 different ways. If the Jets would have kicked a field goal, it could have been different. If they would have stopped them, it would have been a genius move because then all they need is a field goal to win the game. So
or how about this? Put the ball in the hands of your best player, your greatest of all time quarterback, Tom Brady, and let him score with the ball. I don't understand that. Why?
No, with a depleted team, I still don't think this was a horrible call. I just don't. I don't think it's as bad as everyone says it is. It turned out bad, but this is like saying that the decision to throw the ball for the Seattle Seahawks last year in the Super Bowl was a horrible decision. I don't know. A couple times that play works just fine, and I've seen a lot of teams run that play. So was it a terrible decision or was it a great play? No, this is more the Jets went down and put it on them and made it, played very well and won the game. Good for them. I don't think it was a horrible decision. And hey, you don't know. Maybe they make the right decision. Brady goes 3 and out, runs it twice, and then throws an incomplete pass, and then the Jets kick a field goal, and it's a terrible decision for them. It could have gone 100 different ways. It's not a huge blunder. It just didn't turn out for them. That's it.
Yeah,
it's easy to go back and say this is a terrible decision because look how it turned out. In the heat of the moment, no, who knows? It could have gone any number of different ways. In the heat of the moment, it's not a terrible decision.
It's definitely going to go down as one of the most weirdest coin tosses of all time. It might be up there with the Matt Hasselbeck, I want the ball and we're going to score sort of nonsense. Okay. Guys, we are at that time of the night again. We are not going to have time for our discussion and our name that year. We will give you 2 name that years tomorrow. But with that, it is time for us to go. And tomorrow we'll be talking about all the games that are coming up in Week 17, and we'll go dissect that as well as talk about whether or not Doug Baldwin could be elite. And then, just in case some sort of wonky news happens across the NFL, you'll be able to get it right here at Jock Journal Radio. But with that, I'm Nash.
And I'm Matt.
And you're listening to NFL Talk. Have a nice night.
That was NFL Talk Late Night from Jock Journal with the biggest morons in the country. If you aren't asleep already, it might be time to get to bed. However, I'm sure most of you are still looking for me on AshleyMadison.com.